Why did the tomato turn red? Because it saw the salad dressing. Now, speaking of red, let's bust a common myth. Meatloaf isn't just a rock band, it's also a delicious dish. A lot of people have a misconception about meatloaf. They think it's a boring, dry dish that only exists in old-school diners or on grandma's Sunday dinner table. But oh, how wrong they are. Meatloaf is versatile, it's flavorful, and it's certainly not just a mundane mound of meat. And today we're going to kick it up a notch by introducing a recipe that's sure to rock your taste buds. Meatloaf fried chicken. Yes, you heard that right. We're combining two comfort food giants into one mouth-watering masterpiece. Imagine the tender, juicy goodness of fried chicken enveloped in a savory, seasoned meatloaf crust. It's a symphony of flavors that's going to make your palate dance to a new culinary beat. So, are you ready to rock your kitchen with some meatloaf fried chicken? Let's roll! Now, every rock band needs a lead, and in our recipe it's the chicken. Let's start our culinary concert by preparing our headliner. First up, we need to give our chicken a good wash. Run it under cold water and be sure to get into all the nooks and crannies. Think of it like a spa day for the chicken. Now that our chicken has had its refreshing cold shower, it's time for the seasoning. We're going to create a symphony of flavors here. Grab your salt and pepper shakers, folks. Sprinkle generously all over the chicken, ensuring every inch is covered. Don't be shy, our chicken loves a little peppered pizzazz. Next, let's add some garlic powder and onion powder to the mix. These two are like the rhythm section of our band, providing that steady, flavorful beat. Spread it evenly over the chicken. Then it's time for our solo artist, the paprika. This red spice is going to give our chicken a smoky edge and a vibrant color that's sure to make it stand out. Now onto the marinating. This is where our chicken absorbs all the flavor and becomes tender. In a bowl, mix together olive oil, lemon juice, and a pinch of thyme. This is the green room where our chicken gets into the groove before the big show. Immerse the chicken in the marinade, ensuring it's fully covered. This step is like the rehearsal before the main gig. You want to let the chicken soak in the marinade for at least an hour. The longer it marinates, the better it will taste. Now our chicken is seasoned, marinated, and ready to rock and roll. It's gone from a humble poultry piece to a flavor-packed superstar, ready to take center stage in our meatloaf fried chicken recipe. With our chicken prepped and ready to steal the show, it's time for the supporting act. Ever heard of a band without a bass? Neither have we. In our recipe, the meatloaf is the base that gives depth to our dish. It's a symphony of flavors that, when played correctly, will have your taste buds dancing in delight. To start our culinary composition, we need 2 pounds of ground meat. Here's a pro tip. Mixing beef and pork gives the meatloaf a richer flavor profile. Now let's add in a finely chopped onion and a couple of minced cloves of garlic. These are like the backup singers, adding harmony to our base. Next, we introduce the rhythm section, a pair of beaten eggs. These will bind our ingredients together, making sure our band stays in sync. Then pour in half a cup of milk. It's the smooth jazz component, giving our meatloaf a tender texture. For the melody, we add a cup of breadcrumbs into the mix. This gives our meatloaf its structure and a bit of crunch. Now let's spice things up. A tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, a teaspoon of salt, and a dash of pepper are the zesty notes in our culinary concert. Now that we have our band together, it's time for the jam session. Using your hands, blend everything together. Don't be shy, this is your chance to really get in there and mix up those flavors. Once everything is well combined, shape the mixture into a loaf. Now, imagine a stage. The loaf is your headliner, ready to rock your culinary world. But before it takes the spotlight, it needs a little dressing up. Glaze it with a mixture of ketchup, brown sugar, and mustard. This is the showstopper. The final touch that will take your meatloaf from good to encore worthy. And there you have it, a meatloaf that's more than just a side dish. It's the base, the rhythm, and the melody of our recipe. With our base ready, it's time to bring the band together. It's time for the grand finale, where our lead and bass come together to create a harmony of flavors. Now you've got your chicken prepared, and your meatloaf is ready to make its grand entrance. Let's get these two culinary stars on stage together. You'll want to wrap the chicken in the meatloaf mixture. Think of it as a warm, meaty blanket securing the chicken in its savory embrace. Make sure each piece of chicken gets its fair share of the meatloaf blend. Once the chicken is all wrapped up, it's time to introduce it to the frying pan. Place the pan on medium heat and add enough oil to comfortably submerge the chicken. Yes, we're going for a deep fry here. Nothing says comfort food like a good old-fashioned deep fry. As the oil heats up, it's time for the chicken to take the plunge. Be careful as you lower each piece into the hot oil. You're looking for a golden brown finish, so keep an eye on the color. This usually takes around 10 to 12 minutes. Don't forget to turn the chicken occasionally for an even cook. This isn't a one-man show after all. Once done, carefully remove the chicken from the oil and let it rest on a paper towel to absorb any excess oil. And there you have it, a performance worthy of a standing ovation, our meatloaf fried chicken. And just like that, you've created a culinary masterpiece. We've journeyed together from debunking the meatloaf misconception to preparing the chicken, crafting the meatloaf, and finally combining and cooking to create this delicious fusion of flavors. I encourage you all to try this at home and share your experiences. Did your meatloaf fried chicken take center stage at dinner? We're eager to hear your culinary tales, so until next time, remember, the kitchen is your stage, so rock it out.